Hey guys, welcome back to the Jersey Comic Run. Today's episode, Rob and I are discussing all the Void Easter eggs from Loki episode 5. Come on inside.
What's up, everybody? Rob and Chris here from the Jersey Comic Run. We're talking Loki today. We're talking, more importantly, all the crazy stuff that we found in the Void in the last episode of Loki. Guys, this is your spoiler warning for Loki episode 5. If you haven't watched it, please go watch it, and then after that, watch our review of it, and then you come back over here. All right, you got 3 homework assignments. But today we wanted to talk about all the crazy and weird things that we saw in the Void, right?
Yeah.
We had crazy things. We saw a UFO, which, like, to me is like, all right, that's an alien ship. We were talking off air, that could be related to all the conspiracy theories that we're seeing UFOs in real life, but nobody's really talking about it unless you're on the Joe Rogan podcast, right?
I don't even know if it's a conspiracy anymore when, like, ex-presidents are basically saying, yeah, we had 140 instances of things we have no idea what they are. So yeah, it's something that is either based on kind of what we're dealing with in society a little bit with, UFO sightings. Everyone's kind of ignoring it because of, COVID and political parties killing each other. But like, or it could it be a spaceship from the MCU that we haven't seen yet? Could it be, a character we haven't seen yet, or some kind of jokey thing we haven't seen yet? But that's one of the first things we see as they're walking into the Void.
So a lot of the stuff in the Void I missed on the initial viewing because I'm just so focused on what Loki was doing.
Can't believe you.
One of the more obvious things that caught my attention, I'm sure caught all of you, is when they were panning down when they were going to the secret base. Looks like a little Thor in a jar, like jumping back and forth and trying to get to his hammer. Upon closer inspection, and Chris telling me, "Hey, open your eyes," it's Frog Thor from the comic books, which is really cool.
Yeah, it was Throg.
Throg, that's his name. Throg.
Which is a character that every Uber Thor Marvel fan has kind of been wanting to see. He's captured in a jar as they go down, and you see like the dirt underneath, which you also see Mjolnir in there. There's a bunch of Mjolnirs everywhere. But yeah, Throg is in there in the jar. He's trying to like get out of the jar. The poor thing, he's been trapped in there. And he has a little tag on there that says T365. That's the first full appearance of Throg in Thor 365.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Created by the great Walt Simonson, who is the man if you ever get the chance to meet him. But anyway, there's a bunch more stuff in the Void. It was like an Easter egg hunt's dream. Before they go down in there, there's 2 things right and left of them.
Okay.
And one of them seemed to be, and this isn't confirmed, but it seemed to be one of the nuclear bombs that Iron Man kind of flew into the Chitauri space in the Battle of New York.
Oh, okay.
That looked like it was there and undetonated. Don't know for sure. But the other one is a very odd item that I was so happy to see, and it was Thanos's helicopter. No, like Thanos's helicopter. Like, think about it. Thanos had a helicopter.
Why did he need a helicopter?
It was actually in the comics too, Rob. It's actually quite funny to think of a mad titan needing a helicopter to carry around. Literally just says Thanos on the side of the helicopter, but it literally looked like it was taken right out of the comics. Same design, same like, little tubes on the top near the propeller system, all that stuff. And in the comics, he like used it to fly around to get places and it like kill people. It's very funny.
Helicopter.
Very like, deep cut comic book stuff along the lines with like the funnier stuff we saw with like Alligator Thor, Throg, stuff like that. But yeah, that was amazing. We even, like I said, we saw a bunch of Mjolnirs. There's Mjolnirs all over the place.
Everywhere.
If you look at, like, there's easily like 5 or 6. But when they get down into their little bunker, Rob, there's a couple of cool items. One of them being Plebeius, which is an old 80s arcade game for any of you game heads out there. That was actually very, very like huge controversy in the time.
Why?
It was an arcade game that the American government created to test kids' addiction to video games.
Oh.
So as you can imagine, it came out and was taken away very quickly once there were like certain side effects being reported.
Oh yeah.
Because in the 80s with the massive, Nintendo boom and the arcade boom and, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, the government was trying to connect it to like, juvenile delinquency like they do with comic books, right? And connect it to
any reason to explain why kids are going crazy.
Any reason
for kids being kids.
So this was a massive like psychological experiment that the government made with this game Plebeius, which kind of falls into like Loki, who plays psychological tricks on everybody. Of course, out of all the arcade games, he would probably have that one in his bunker. But is there anything that you caught down there or upstairs? Like there's obviously a bunch more stuff, but I wanted to see what you caught, Rob.
I'm gonna let you know. I was so oblivious to half this stuff. I missed the Thanos copter until I was looking at it for the episode. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, what is that? But my question was I feel like this is an Easter egg, but I don't know.
Yeah.
The ship that gets summoned, right? And then we see a Loki on there and it's attacking. Is that related to something? Because I feel like that's an easy opportunity for an Easter egg. I just can't place my finger on it.
Absolutely. And you're on the money. That is a huge Easter egg. It's actually like an urban legend in like American military. So that ship is called the USS Eldridge. Okay. And in 1955, it was off the coast of the East Coast, and it actually disappeared. No one knows what the hell happened to it. No one's found it, on the bottom of the ocean even.
Okay.
And there was this huge conspiracy theory that the Navy sent it out and they were testing either time travel or interdimensional travel. And supposedly there was a witness who later was in an article in the 50s that stated he saw the ship get sucked into a portal that went into another dimension, according to this person. So
how have I never heard of this before?
It is one of the weirdest urban legends involving military craft of any kind. It kind of falls in line with like a Bermuda Triangle situation, but it's nothing that can be categorically in our world or in anything. We haven't found it. Like, still, the ocean's obviously 70% of the planet, but it hasn't been found to this day. So that was a really cool thing where the TVA sent it to the void as a Nexus event, and that's where it disappeared in and got eaten.
The other thing I did see was Yellow Jacket's helmet, the little helmet.
Yes, it was actually really big, so it seemed Yellow Jacket figured out how to go gigantic, and his helmet, or that version of Yellow Jacket, got sent to the void, possibly becoming a way bigger threat than anything else.
Yeah, they were probably like, yeah, you got too crazy. But see, to me, all this stuff that we're seeing in the void, right? How much of it was because of this guy's evil plan? Did this stuff actually deserve to be there? Maybe Yellow Jacket was there and he didn't need to be like this. I mean, I see for Loki, right? Frog, Thor, Loki, cool. Any other versions of Loki messing with time?
Comic book callbacks.
Right, comic book callbacks. I see that, and I could justify that. But a giant Yellow Jacket helmet, it doesn't make sense to me. And I don't know, some of the stuff I was like, yeah, this is cool callbacks, but what's the reason behind? And I can just get drawn back to everything else. Well,
maybe the fact of Yellow Jacket, just to answer your question real quick.
God.
Maybe that is just to connect to you, hey, remember, as everyone's thinking about Kang and everyone's thinking about, the possibilities of Kang, remember, he's going to be related to Ant-Man and the Wasp in a major way. Maybe that's just kind of a reminder Easter egg there with Yellow Jacket, because obviously we don't see Yellow Jacket as this world-ending threat.
The other thing I did see, the giant statue with 3 heads on it, is that the Living Tribunal?
You are absolutely correct, Rob. That is a statue of the Living Tribunal. And we see it as Loki and Sylvie are kind of running by it real quick as they're about to try to take down the Alioth by enchanting it. And the Living Tribunal, for obviously if you don't know, is a massive comic entity. It kind of is the judger, and it judges space-time, everything in between. Not unlike some of the characters we talked about in the last episode with Immortus and stuff like that. But that is a big kind of Easter egg hint, Rob. This character is all the way back in Strange Tales 158, very old comic. Again, big time cosmic entity being, not quite a Beyonder, but someone who sits there and judges space and time. It's a 3-headed being. We see a lot of everything is in 3s in this show.
Yep.
Do you think that's something that is another possibility of a possible character we might see?
I think them showing Living Tribunal, a statue devoted to them, is evidence that the person behind it, 1, is not the Living Tribunal, 2, is trying to hide it because in some timeline they were aware of the Living Tribunal, made a statue to honor them. He wiped that from existence, and that's why that's there. This person is trying to cover up the existence of this person. I don't think it's himself, because he wouldn't leave that lying around, but he's trying to destroy it from the timeline, so most people at the end of the timeline don't know, because once you get to the end of the world, him and having his pet just destroys everything. Yeah. I think it's just more evidence, hey, you're thinking of these crazy level beings, and Living Tribunal is something that some people thought of, especially when you saw 3 faces everywhere.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, cool, is this him? No. This shows me that it's not going to be this character.
What if it's one of those Marvel trope fakes that they do very well? Oh. What if it's a statue, right? We clearly see it's this stone carved statue. What if the Living Tribunal were the originators of the TVA?
Maybe.
What if they ran the TVA, quote unquote, the right way until Kang, Immortus, whoever came in and took them out?
Maybe like the timekeepers with the Living Tribunal. Like the Living Tribunal was the judge before the timekeepers. Timekeepers did all the other stuff, and they got rid of the.
And they had to replicate it with 3 beings and all that stuff. I mean, again, this is a Loki show, right? There's got to be some illusionary effect at the end. There's got to be some trickery. There's got to be some, hey, you thought it was this, and it wipes away, and it's something else. So I think that's a big Easter egg.
But guys, those are all the major Easter eggs that we found in the void that might shed some light on what's going to happen next and might not. Might be just fun things. Let us know down in the comments below what you saw in the episode and what was your favorite little Easter egg.
And guys, if you enjoyed the episode, give us a thumbs up. Really helps the channel out a lot. And if you're brand new, subscribe, turn on notifications. You don't want to miss the finale of Loki. We'll be covering it here. As always, check us out on our Instagram, on our Twitter, at Jersey Comic Crew. Make sure you check out other videos on the channel as well if you missed any. And as always, I'm Chris Heller. That is Rob Moran. We're the Jersey Comic Crew, and we'll see you next time.